Good morning, everyone. My name is Malik Shahid, and today we're hanging out at the W Hotel with Melissa Bell. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Welcome.
Thank you so much. Always happy to be here.
Of course, of course. Talk to us about your new latest album, Distance.
Well, it's got 6 songs, 5 written by me. One is a cover of Bill Withers' song "Ain't No Sunshine," and I'm pretty proud of this CD. I think it represents me as an artist very well.
Now, your first album, you're less hands-on, but this album here, you're more hands-on. Talk to us about how you're more hands-on with this album.
Well, having a little bit more experience from having done the first album, I was a bit more confident in the studio because during the first album, I started when I was 17 and surrounded by, older musicians and producers with more experience. You don't really know when to speak up or what you really want to sound like. So this one, having those few years of experience under my belt, and also having played a lot of these songs live.
Your soul's an ocean away. You're right beside me. There's something
So I had a chance to check out your video, Distance. Very interesting. You're sending a message to somebody.
I suppose I am. This is one of those songs I wrote quite a while ago, but yeah, it's about one of those situations where you've been with somebody and all of a sudden you kind of sense them pulling away a little bit, but you don't know exactly what's going on, and so you're in this limbo situation, and really you just want to close that gap, but you don't know if you're going to be able to. So that's where the song came from.
And what were your influences growing up?
I was lucky. My parents raised me on really great music. Like, the Beatles have been my favorite band since I was probably 3 years old. We also listened to a lot of like Motown and R&B and like Stevie Wonder, Temptations, Aretha Franklin, Bob Marley. So I listened to a lot of great stuff growing up.
And why do the remake of the Bill Withers song?
Well, we hadn't really planned to do it. We were just in the studio that day. It was myself and a drummer and the bass player, and we were kind of just jamming on the song. And I was like sick and my guitar wasn't even in tune, but we were just playing it and the vibe was there. So sometimes it's like, maybe it's not perfect, but the vibe is so great. Everyone thought it was great, and so we ended up just keeping this take live off the floor.
You have a very strong, powerful voice. Where does that come from? Did you grow up in a church singing?
I didn't know. Maybe it was my influences. I definitely listened to a lot of Christina Aguilera when I was about 14, and she's got that huge, powerful voice. And Aretha Franklin has been a huge influence, and I don't know where it comes from. It's just happens to come out, I suppose.
So what we're going to do is that later on in the show, we're going to get to know a little more about Melissa Bell. Stay tuned.
wish I could get back the time I spent thinking that this is as good as it gets.
We are still at W Hotel hanging out with singer, songwriter, musician, Melissa Bell.
Yeah, isn't the W beautiful?
It's hot, it's hot, it's hot. So I know you play the guitar. What other instruments do you play?
My first instrument was the piano. Yeah, my parents put me in lessons when I was pretty young, but of course when you're 7 or 8, you don't really have the discipline to practice for the required amount every day. So I took lessons up to about when I was maybe 13, and then at 14 I started playing the guitar.
The joy that's inside, we're happy, healthy, we've got all that we need. So this Christmas, spend your time on me.
I was really impressed with your song this Christmas. I actually thought it was a remake of something, but it's your own song.
Thank you so much. That's a huge compliment.
So why don't you talk about the writing process for that song?
Well, I'd wanted to write a Christmas song, and I wrote it on Christmas Eve of last year. Okay. And it was after a phone call with my dad, who doesn't really like Christmas that much because, you know, of the materialism and commercialism that seems to go with Christmas nowadays. So he calls me and he's at the mall stressing out about what to buy for people. And so I just told him, Dad, if you don't know what to buy for someone, just don't buy them anything and, you know, write them a nice card or just do something nice. Like, Christmas isn't supposed to be about this. So that's what I decided to write my song about.
Talking about spending time together, what does MB do on her spare time?
MB, nice. Nobody calls me that.
First.
Yeah. I wish I had a bit more spare time, but in my spare time, I'm a huge foodie. So I like to cook and bake, And I have a beautiful dog at home that I like to, you know, take out for walks, and like to go to the gym and read. Yeah, and study French.
So, I'll give you a chance to do a big New Year's wish. What are you looking forward to doing in 2013?
I am looking forward to traveling some more. We're releasing a full album in Europe in March, so hopefully I'll be able to follow that up with some touring, as well as coming back here to Montreal and other parts of Quebec to play bigger and better shows all the time. Yeah.
And for those who are watching and may not know of who you are in your music, how would you describe your style of music?
It's kind of like Blue-Eyed Soul, but with a bit more blues and a bit of just a little dash of pop in there.
We're going to give them a chance to hear some of your stuff. Let us know your website.
It is www.melissa-bel.com.
It was a pleasure hanging out with you. And all the best, eh?
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for having me.